Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the show. It's been a couple of days. I hope you've been enjoying what's going on with the markets. Stay tuned. We'll get over everything that's been happening here in the markets. And folks have made quite a bit of money. If you took some time to actually watch that last video I made, not the live, but the video I made about the NASDAQ going to be ripping this week, well, actually last week going into this week, that's exactly what's happened. It was a great call, and we talked about quite a few stocks in that live that I'm really excited to see are doing very well today. So just want to shoot the shit right now with you guys, and let's go into some tickers that are doing really, really well. All right. While people slowly come into the chat room, let's take a look at some of these stocks that are pulling back today or pulling back going into tomorrow. But look at the dip buys, man. Look at the dip buys in silver. Look at the dip buys in gold right now that are doing really, really well. Absolutely amazing what's going on in gold right now. I'm actually really, really impressed. Go ahead and press like on this video if you can right now. Press like on this video if you can right now. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated if you can press like on this video. Yeah, I think your timing has been off. I'm going to air Monday, Wednesday, and supposed to be Fridays. I'm going to start really making sure I hit on Fridays, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. I had some technical difficulties, but 8:30, 9 o'clock at the Eastern Standard Time is when you'll get me. All right? Is when you'll typically get me. And man, I've been really, really excited about this run in silver, really excited about this run in gold. Appreciate you, Trunks, for participating. And, I saw the haters on CNBC talking about it's time to pull back on gold, it's time to, and I hate those guys because it just seems like they work for the institutions. They know they are asking people to stop buying just so that their friends and whatnot can get in at some lower prices because the word is out. All right, the word is out. The dollar is not worth shit any longer. Okay, the banks know it, and smart people now, thanks to technology and the internet, people know it as well too. I mean, look at this. This is the DXY. Okay, this tracks the U.S. dollar index, which, by the way, was down last year 10%, and it's only getting worse. It's only getting worse. Okay, so when we're looking at gold, we're looking at silver, we're looking at all of these stocks or all of these commodities, what you're looking at are institutions saying we don't want to hold dollars anymore. Okay, we don't want to hold our wealth in dollars. This is wealthy individuals saying this. Okay, because all banks represent wealthy people. Okay, banks represent work for wealthy people, and these are wealthy people saying, I'd rather hold physical commodities instead of U.S. dollars. And what we have to do as traders is follow suit until it doesn't work any longer. We have to follow suit. I'm not going to do anything that is going to be against what I'm clearly seeing happening with my government. All right, my government is printing dollars like crazy, $38 trillion deficit right now, $38 trillion in debt, not deficit, in debt, right? They're not going to stop printing. Every single dollar that the United States government prints right now is debt. It's not profit. We are a corporation that's literally printing money in order to survive. We are not, operating at a profit, and we haven't for a very long time. And this tariffs, which are, by all intents and purposes, is a great idea. I love it. I love his tariffs. I think it makes sense. It's going to be able to eat away at some things, but it's a drop in the bucket. It's a drop in the bucket, and it's something that unfortunately should have been implemented 100 years ago. right? And was implemented 100 years ago. America always had tariffs. It wasn't until the Great Depression and whatnot that we got off the whole idea of tariffs. We should have never did that. Okay, we should have never did that. We should have never got off the gold standard, but that's a whole different conversation. Okay, should have never got off the gold standard. Fiat is going down. Fiat is going down. I'm at the point now where, you know, my checking account is basically just a couple $100 because it's just for, if I need to go out to eat or something like that. But every single dollar I can put into the market is in there because there's no justification for being in cash. They tell you the interest rate is 3%. It's actually significantly higher than that. It's way higher than that. Anybody who actually believes that the interest rate is 3% per year, I got a bridge to sell you. I got a bridge to sell you because you can't be that dumb. You know, you really, really can't be that dumb if you actually believe that. Okay, that's absolutely insane. Okay, real talk.
Oh my God!
Let me see here. Since they've shelled the crypto bills and all the countries are hoarding resources, what they did was going to happen. Yeah, well, crypto, man, it's so sad to see where crypto is right now. I'm a big believer in Bitcoin, and I always believe like, hey, it's down right now. It's down right now a little bit. Let's take a look at it real quick before we get into some stocks heavy. All right, it's down right now a little bit, but look, it will go up higher. It will go higher. It's really washing away people who are, unsure about what it's going and where it's going, and those people will sell, and the right people will step up. I'm waiting for on balance volume, to break out of some resistance levels. I would love to see that. Okay, break out of some resistance level and work its way higher because we know where, you know, it needs to go to actually start seeing it. But the fact of the matter is, we're just not seeing the volume, man. All right, we're just not seeing the volume. And God, did I just get rid of the fucking indicator? Hold on, OBV. But we're not actually seeing the volume we need to see right now. So volume right now is really down in Bitcoin in a major way. Okay, and that pisses me more than anything. Uh, but hey, what can you do? What can we do right now when we have volume so low and not generating the kind of demand we need to see for, you know, Bitcoin to go higher? Okay, because it's only volume that's going to take us out of these trenches. Okay, so something has to change. Something has to break somewhere. Something has to happen for us to get there. Okay, because the ETFs have been created. You know it's legal to own, to use, to everything like that. So I mean, all of those catalysts are gone and behind us now. You said when channel Bitcoin was $1,000, shit, bro. Go back to 2013. My first video was 2013 because I was so excited about fucking Tim Sykes. You know, my thing with Bitcoin is I only wish I had a circle at the time that was into that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's my biggest regret about my 20s is that I didn't have a social circle, when I was 19, 20, 21 years old that was into how do we make some money? All right? How do we get rich? How do we invest this money, this little money that we're earning right now? Okay? That's my biggest regret about my early years because when you look at the people who are Bitcoin multi millionaires, they had a social circle that introduced them to the technology. Okay, that's all it was. They had a friend who said, "Hey, this is what we're doing. We want you to be a part of this. Come on over," and that's how they got rich. That's how they fucking got rich. Okay. Here's a pullback in copper, which is going to be pretty strong probably tomorrow. But again, ladies and gentlemen, you need to be buying copper. Okay, you need to be buying copper because the demand is there. China can't get enough of it. Okay, America can't get enough of it. Right? I don't have to be the only one to tell you that you're not getting any gold or copper mines approved anytime soon, right? So whatever we got out there is what we got out there. And what we got out there is, you know, already slowly somewhat depleting and not exactly easy to get. Okay? Not exactly easy to get. You know, if you go out and buy silver bars and gold bars right now, you sell to a broker, we all know the broker's got to take a cut. So you're not going to be sold, your bars are not going to be sold at spot, right? So they're going to want a 10, a 20, a 30% discount, right? On at spot. So you got to make sure you get a good deal and you got to make sure that, the profit is high enough before you sell. With that being said, the brokers, do you know where they're selling their gold? They're selling their gold to? They're selling it to China. They're selling it to India, where demand is astronomical right now, right? The Chinese can't get enough gold. The Indians cannot get enough gold. These are people who hoard damn near 50% of their income, all right? Look that up. The Chinese are a saving community. They do not, they do not put dollars and cash under their bed. They are savers. Okay? These people save money. Okay? These people save money. And they do not hoard dollars under their mattress. Let me just make sure I'm looking good. Okay, great. I look fine. Okay. If somebody wants to talk about a ticker, go ahead and put that in the chat, please. Go ahead and put that ticker in the chat, please. All right. Let's go to your tickers now. All right. NEM. Again, this is Newmont. This is gold. This is also silver as well as copper. All right. Great stock. You should long it right now. I've talked about GAU. Okay. Great stock. You need to be long it right now. Okay. You need to be long it right now. Meta. We talked about Meta for the last 2 weeks, right? We talked about Meta for the last 2 weeks. Look where Meta is right now, right? Meta is along. What's going on, Woody? Right? Meta is along right now. Okay, Meta is along right now. I'd wait for earnings because I think a $60 move, $50 move from the lows is pretty aggressive. But we've talked about Meta on this show. I called Meta along if it held these lows, and sure enough, it's done exactly what I said it was going to do, and I do take credit for that. I do definitely take credit for that, right? Because we've been looking at that. I give myself that for sure. Shout out to me for Meta because that was an incredible move. That was an incredible move. Okay.
Dom the Monko.
All right. Put those tickers in the chat room. Put those tickers in the chat, please. Okay. Let's take a look here. The financials. Nice bounce today. Bounce across the board today in the market, man. Bounce across the board. And I want to show this beautiful ascending triangle that I created last week on the show. And I've kept it on here because I want to show you what it looks like, right? And if you watched my video again about market exploding next week, I created this in that video. So in that video, we're at the lows, right? We're like right here in that video. And of course, I went long QQQ. I did sell that low. I did sell that low because I had firm belief that we were going to bounce higher off that foolishness of Davos. But sure enough, we're getting back into the triangle. Not only are we going to get back into the triangle, we're going to pop above 628, I believe, by the end of this week and set a new high. All right? I really do believe that. There's nowhere else to go but up, folks. You got to stay long and stay strong. Okay? You got to stay long and stay strong. I don't care what they're saying about the economy. We know the economy is not that great. You just have to look at gold prices to tell you that. You go look at DXY to tell you that. Right? This is not even a stock picker's market. This is a market go up market. Have you been on social media lately? Right? If you've been on Instagram, you've been on TikTok, look at all these people talking about trading. All these random weirdos out of nowhere talking about trading. Hey, I want to teach you how to trade. I want to show you I've made $5,000 trading. I want to show you, bro, they're everywhere. Remember, for a long time, it was like 10, 20 people. You just saw it constantly over and over and over again. Now you go on these little platforms, Instagram, TikTok, everybody's a fucking everybody's a trader teacher. You know what I'm saying? It's insane if you're not, if you're not mentally strong out here and you're falling for these people who are just, popping up out of nowhere, you can really lose your ass. Lose your ass. Right? And the usual scammers are still out there. Right? The usual scammers are still out there, but you still got people who are trying to convince people that they can make money in Forex, which is a goddamn lie. We know you can't make no fucking money in Forex. Okay? Not saying that there aren't people who make money, but it's very, very, very hard. It's very fucking hard to make money in Forex. Some of you guys in here have tried it. Let's look at MSFT, a stock that was down when I restarted the show. But again, I set that level last week here on the show, and we're back above that level. I think this is a potential buy signal. I think this is a potential buy signal in MSFT. Okay? And if I'm looking at MSFT, I think this is something that you might want to take some risk on. Okay? Watch it carefully now. Right? Watch it carefully, but I think crossing back above 467, and now we're looking at that 493. I think you've got a low in. Let's see what it does. Let's see what it does. Okay. But you don't have to, go out too far. I would even go and take and try to sell maybe a bull call spread at 465. Maybe 465 is a little tight. 463. Right? 463. If it pulls back to 463, and then you're out. I mean, it is what it is. Right? But that's a possibility right here. That's a beautiful possibility right here. Yeah, somebody real said that everybody's a financial guru now. I saw that a minute ago. Yes, everybody's a financial guru, and it's easy to be that way when the market is going higher. Everybody can be a financial guru when the market is going up. We saw that in 2020 with the pandemic, and then they all disappeared around 2023, 2024. Okay? Late into 2024, now they're all back because that's what happens. I'll just go, you want to be a financial guru, just tell everybody to go buy Meta. Go tell everyone to go buy, the gold right now, go silver right now. Okay? When you probably should be in a lot of these other ones, which are, running behind, which is copper. Copper is one of them. Right? You should be in some of those other plays. Microsoft, that's pulled back. Apple is not something I want to touch right now. Although you had a really great day today in Apple, I still think there's considerable amount of downside left. Okay? Because volume is kind of topped out a little bit here in Apple. And unless we start to see that crack a little higher, this 4 hour is going to be a little misleading. Yeah, there you go. This 4 hour shows kind of like that lower, declining demand in Apple. And it's something that, I'm clearly aware of and I'm watching because it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Something is structurally wrong there. And, the fact that they went out and had to replace Siri with Gemini, that says a lot. That says a lot. You know, they said something that they couldn't figure out. They had to go have Google, replace their AI system. You know, Google had to go replace their AI system. Oh, sorry about that. Open this ebook because I wanted to get something out of it, but it's not even the ebook I was looking for. All right, let's take a look. Some other ones here. Visa. Not really looking at Visa either. Uh, take a look at the Qs. All right. And here's the 4 hour chart. Again, I showed you the daily, but here's the 4 hour chart. So we rejected a little bit here at the last, 4 hours of the day. Obviously, we did have a very strong morning, and we just kind of, sold off a little bit towards the end of the day. But overall, a really, really good day. And I foresee that we're going to continue to hold strong here. And again, here's this on balance volume that you can kind of see has been working its way higher. And again, this is just one of the many indicators I use. It's not one, but again, we're just holding really well. This is just really, really well. That's why any pullback, I'm not too, when this pullback happened and I made that video, I saw it and it was just like, man, this, we're still going higher on this. We're still going higher on this. All right. We're still going higher on this. Okay. This girl's calling me and I'm over here doing a show. God. She probably think I'm ignoring her too. Because, women, when you don't pick up their call, they automatically think you're ignoring them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not ignoring you. Call you back. All right. Argentina stocks are back. Look at GGAL. GGAL. Argentina stocks. Is this NASDAQ? Grupo Financiero. What is this? Their major financial institution? Pittsburgh. Is this like their major financial institution? I gotta bring the call in line back ASAP. I keep forgetting to do that shit. It ain't nothing but $20 a month. I gotta bring this call in line back because I need y'all to call up and say this shit. Yeah, I need to know.
Why are you running?
Yeah.
Why are you running?
Why are you running right now? Why are you running? Okay. Yeah, don't know much about Argentina, but shout out to Argentina, man. Shout out to Argentina. You're above my favorite moving averages, which is the 10 moving average. Would love to see a little bit more going on there. It's not the prettiest chart in the world, but hey, it's doing its thing. Above the 50 and 100. And I don't know how liquid the options are, but it's moving in the right direction. You know, moving in the right direction. Yeah, so I'm with it. I'm with it. What's going on, relative 9696? Absolutely still posting, man. There's still money to be made, brother. Still money to be made. Relative, did you change your name? I feel like I recognize the relative 9696, but I feel like maybe you had changed it or something. Okay. Argentina. I don't know. Let me see if you guys got any more ETFs that okay, I do. There you go. You got a better ETF. Yeah, I like this. This ETF looks a lot better. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. I like this. Where has this been? Shit. It's been a nice little place since 2022. You know, Argentina looking real good. Shout out to Argentina. All right, you're breaking out to a new high. All right, new high, new 52-week high this week. After actually 52-week high, fuck today. 52-week high today. Yeah, looking really good. Yeah, 52-week high today. Okay. I'm gonna have to save that just in case and put that on my watch list. Put that on my watch list just in case. ARGT. ARGT. Yeah, I know. I know. I mean, they're coming from, some really rough times, right? I mean, they're coming from some really rough times. I mean, this is a country that's in the dumps right now. In Argentina right now, if you buying a house, they don't even want the currency. They want dollars or euros. They don't even want the currency. Yeah, this piece of shit QBTS. I don't know. I think it's a pump and dump. I don't think it's legit. QBTS to me just seems like it's not a legit company. I don't know what. So hard to find information on that shit. Just looking at some tickers that some guys made me look up last week. I really hate turd stocks, but yeah, no thanks. I don't really like housing at all right now, just because I don't know what's happening with housing. You guys saw that Trump speech, last week where he's talking about I could crush I could crush housing right now if I wanted to, but we gotta save the motherfucker, bro. You got young people out here who are the future of this country, and you talking about saving the wealth of people who are in their fucking 80s and 70s and shit. Like that's what's wrong with this fucking country, man. Like that's why this country looks like it does. We operate this country in the benefit of people who are like 70 years old. That's why we don't have no fucking new airports. We don't have no really fucking new construction anywhere that's like amazing. When was the last time America built something fucking amazing, bro? Real talk. A new dam or a new we don't have shit new here. I'm watching videos of motherfuckers going to China and shit, and the whole city's like LED'd out. You know what I'm saying? It looks like a fucking $1,000,000. You know? And my city looks like shit. Same name. Good to see you. You remember Stock Guy Bats? Yes, yes, I do remember. I still follow Bats on X. I still follow Bats on X, and he's still doing a couple of sub trading here and there. But I noticed he's not posting as much, so I don't know if he's not trading as much as he used to. But I know he loves it still. I know he does. Stock Guy, is Stock Guy still posting? I don't know if these guys still post at all, but shout out to them. But yeah, we still in the game, man. We still in the game. There's money to be made. Money to be made. Mobile app coming soon. App coming soon. Stay tuned for that. All right. I gave you guys my downside strategy in NDX. I got it tuned now for QQQ. And I tried it today and it was a winning trade. So it does work now that I got it for QQQ. King Ross, KGC. I posted this on Twitter. I want to say this weekend. I posted this on Twitter. And yes, fellas, this is also along. Now, King Ross, I believe, is a precious metals. King Ross, let's see, because I got it confused with a retailer. King Ross, gold. Yep, mining. Okay, yep, gold mining. That's a gold mining. Okay. Gold mining play. Okay. Major gold mining play with projects in the United States, Canada, Brazil, and Mauritania, which is in somewhere in Africa. Okay. Mauritania. I want to believe that's like northeast Africa. Okay. Northeast Africa. All right. Great ticker. Have I heard of OXC? Any thoughts on that? Let's take a look. What the fuck is that? OXC. What the fuck is OXC, man? Trunks, what is OXC? You're gonna have to let me know what that is, man. I don't know what that is. Uh, let me. Okay, I think we're gonna have a big move. MU is a move I took advantage of. I should have never got out of MU. I was waiting for this breakout. We got the breakout. I went and sold. I did a beautiful bull call spread, excuse me, on MU. I sold like the 258s for a month out. Made really good money and then never went back in. But I think an opportunity to get back in MU would be very, very soon, particularly if this pulls back. I'd love it if it pulled back to the 370s or even 360s on MU. If that happens, I would like that a lot. Oh, nope, 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 nope. I don't want that. I would like that a lot. Let's get a horizontal. I would love to see it hit somewhere below this. I don't know if I'll get that, but I'd even settle. I'd even sell it above 384 is a little too low. But I would love it if it could come back into the zone right here. All right. For those of you guys who don't know, this evening we had Trump put on an additional 10% tariff on South Korea because there were some agreements that were made last year that uh, still haven't been approved by the South Korean like Congress over there. So he's very disappointed about that, and he put on that extra 10%. Okay, he put on that extra 10%. I heard about OX. Oh, are you talking about Occidental? Are you talking about Occidental? O O OXY? I think you're talking about Occidental. Yeah, the only OX stock I know in my head tied to oil is OXY. That's why I just topped in right now. Yeah, Occidental is pretty tough. I'd love to see this again. It could be bottoming out right now, actually. I like the way this looks. This could be actually bottoming out here. Let's look at the daily. It looks like it might be beneath my. Okay, it's back above the 50 and the 100. Okay, it's got to be above 50 and 100 for me to even be interested in it on the daily, and then on the monthly, I need to be at least above the 10 moving average. Okay, I need for it to be at least above the 10 moving average, which it isn't right now, but we're right there. We're right there. Okay, we're right there. Okay, so let it close above the 10-month moving average. Okay, because if you look at any stock, right, when it's above the 10-month moving average, it's an exciting time to be in that stock. Okay, any stock you look up, if it's crossing over that 10-month moving average, it's an exciting time to be in that stock, right? And I see it's failed it a couple times already. But again, that's a low risk entry point when it's crossing above it. So you might do a nice bull call spread when it crosses above it at some lower prices to see if it's going to take off from there. But I like the way you're thinking. I like the way you're thinking. Relative, I remember MJ stocks. Those days were golden. Yeah, we relative going back to what you were saying in the MJ stocks. They didn't pan out the way we thought they were going to, didn't they? They really didn't, and that was very, very frustrating, man. What's up, Darth Kermit? That was very, very frustrating. Shout out to Darth Kermit in the building. Shout out to NJ, NJ's finest. Appreciate you in the building. Shout out to all you guys in the building. Appreciate y'all, man. Okay. Appreciate y'all in the building. Drop some bombs. You know?
Dom DeMarco.
Yeah. SLB and Hall, just grind iron. Yeah, but I'm gonna keep Oxy though. I'm gonna keep Oxy on oh, trucks is crypto. Okay. I thought you said something about oil. It's crypto. Yeah, I'm not a meme coin guy. I'm not a meme coin guy. What I'm saying? I'm really not a meme coin dude. All these tickers. We sat here and we watched guys get rug pulled and a lot of these coins, man. It was sad. It was sad. Go look up this beautiful sister. She was on YouTube. Her name was Bit Beauty. I think her videos are still up there. Her videos are from like 2018, 2019. Her name was Bit Beauty. And first she started off with Bitcoin, right? She called herself Bit Beauty, promoting Bitcoin. And then I don't know what happened. I think this shit got to her head. Then she started talking about this shit meme coin. And people lost a lot of money and what came for her head and she disappeared. I mean, she literally vanished. But her old videos, I think, are still up there. Fine ass little high yellow thing. Warren Buffett was big on Oxy. Yeah, Warren Buffett's big on that. Still, probably still is. I appreciate you, relative, for what you said, man, about them streams getting you through the long nights at work. Yeah, I ain't got that kind of energy for them 9-hour streams no more though. Woo! Them shits was whoo boy, going hard. And what's crazy is that I was going hard with the wrong trading methodology, man. Was in the wrong things, trading the wrong things. But it's cool because I had to go through that to get to where I am now. You know what I'm saying? I had to go through the disappointment of shorting real companies, right? You don't short real companies, you short shitty companies that are, the beyond meats of the world. And you know what I'm saying? But you don't short great companies that people are using to hedge, inflation. And that's what I was doing. I was doing the wrong things. You don't put your money that you really need to be, doubling and tripling. You don't put that in stocks that are 5 cents, 6 cents, and hope you get 10 cents. Nah, you go put that money and go get yourself a $75 option in what should have been AMD at the time. Go get you a $75 option in AMD that has turned into $300, $400, $500, and just keep doing it. You know, but that's hindsight. Hindsight is 2020. But now you know better, you do better. Right now you know better, you do better. So we're invested in companies that are, actually making a difference out here. You know, you know how to trade the right way. Okay, taking responsible trades that actually generate alpha, and it's making a difference. It's making a huge, huge difference in my life. Particularly over the last, 4 years. And I got out of that, just degenerate, short mindset mentality. You're not making really no money. You know what I'm saying? Chasing 5, 10, 25 cent stocks. Not making no fucking money doing that shit. No fucking money, bruh. You know. But the roadmap now is so fucking clear. The roadmap now is so fucking clear, man. You know, the roadmap now is so fucking clear. I mean, thanks to AI, thanks to just some common sense knowledge, that we know about fiat and debt and commodities, we can, and technology, right? And how efficient it's making everything. You can lay out a path, a roadmap. You can just see what stocks are going to be here, what stocks are not going to matter. That's why I keep on my thing, on my I forgot what it's called, but when you post a YouTube video, the little picture you put up there, I think it starts with a T, but I can't remember it right now. Uh, I have the Nasdaq up there because that's the only fucking thing that's really truly matters. Is these tech stocks. I don't give a fuck about none of these beer plays, even though some of these beer plays, somebody showed me a drink play like Monster Energy that was like doing like stupid numbers. I can't remember it right now. Oh, that's myself. Monster Energy, they're like doing something retarded. You know what I'm saying? Monster Energy is fucking up retarded. This shit is ridiculous. You know? What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Why am I not in this shit? You want to talk about disappointment, my nigga? Shit is crazy. But in all hindsight though, I don't really give a fuck about a drink, man. I don't give a fuck about a drink because I can wake up one day and see this down 50%. Real talk. Real talk. I can see it. Cause I don't really know. I don't have any motherfuckers around me that's drinking Monster Energy drink and their subsidiaries like that. So you guys have to tell me, what's going on and where this is coming from. Because motherfuckers is not in colleges like that. I know they don't get them in the schools. So where is this? Where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? You know. But I'm looking at this income statement, and it does look pretty decent. I mean, they do make a little over $2 billion quarterly. And it looks like they are generating a nice profit too on that money. All right, up 68% year over year. So I mean, there's some things to see here. There's some things to see here. CELH, consumer non-durables, nice 2 months. All right, nice 2026. All right, got a little bit of profit taken right now, but so far looking really good. Looking really good in CLEH. Oh, look at that. Fill that gap. Beautiful. Beautiful gap fill. I didn't even see the stock. I didn't even see the chart but you can see here, when support turns into resistance. So, if I'm looking at CELH for the first time, I'm not touching this until it breaks 5780. I'm not even touching this until it breaks 5780. You could say it's coming back for the 5203, but it might be back looking for 5203. And if that's the case, then and it holds, if that's the case and it holds, then yeah, I'd look for, I don't know what the options are and how liquid they are, but I'd sell $50. You know, you may want to sell those $50 puts just as a, or do another bull call spread, which is my favorite way to trade. I love bull call spreads. I love bull call spreads because it's the poor man's way to sell puts. All right. And you can make a lot of money with bull call spreads, particularly if you have very little capital. All right. Bull call spreads can put you in a position where, you can protect yourself if there's a little bit of a downside move. All right. There are ways to put on bull call spreads where you put in a 1.5 to 2% cushion, depending on your time frame. I've had stocks go against me 2% and I still win, just because of where I had that spread on the stock. But CELH, Dave, does look good. It looks good. You got some resistance up there, so just wait for that. All right. Or if it pulls back to 52 and holds, then I want to do something at $50 as a low risk entry point. As a low risk entry point. What was that MJ stock CTCI? I was holding that penny stock for months and eventually made some change on it thanks to you. CTCI, yeah. I mean, I don't even remember. There were so many MJ stocks that we made and we tried to see push, and but none of them really reached the high that we thought because marijuana just, I don't know. I think maybe we overplayed how many people sell weed, or the way it just never really got the institutional support. That's what it was. Marijuana never got the institutional support it needed. And I think marijuana till today is still a Schedule II drug, right? We never were able to get marijuana off the, let me see, is MJ still a Schedule II drug? Okay, as of late 2025, early 2026, marijuana is not a Schedule II drug, nor is it currently a Schedule III drug. It remains classified as Schedule I, controlled substance under federal law. See, proposed it in 2024. Executive order was signed December 18th of 2025. Until the DEA officially finalizes this rulemaking, marijuana remains Schedule One. So that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, this executive order was just signed December 18th, bro. That's barely a month ago. So we got Trump to sign it a month ago. It's still Schedule One. You know what I'm saying? Rescheduling to Schedule 3 does not make it federally legal for regulation. So we still don't have the legal framework necessary for marijuana to really, you know what I'm saying, be something where investors can go in there and make some bread. You know, we got to get it to where it's got the same legal status as smoking a cigarette, and it never got there. That right there was the whole problem with marijuana. That right there was the whole problem with marijuana. You know, that right there was the whole problem with marijuana. You know, it's fucking frustrating, bro. I know lots of gay men in my country, Lithuania, who want to learn to trade stocks. Would you come to? Hell no, man. What the fuck is that?
Get out of here, you damn nigger!
The hell? What the hell is that? It's that guy who always comes in the chat talking about some gay shit. I'm not going to block you because you're entertaining, but I'm going to keep using the sound effect to get you.
Get out of here, you damn nigger!
Shit. It's ridiculous. All right, let's keep it going, man. Let's keep it going. I'm not going to keep you guys all night. Morgan Stanley. I don't know what happened there. Looks like there's some. All right. Banks are boring though. Banks are boring as fuck, but they're really great long-term stocks. You know, I told you guys about how Morgan Stanley makes $150 million a day. Look that up. That's some crazy ass shit. There's a really nice story on that online. I think it's like CNN or something. They make like $150 million a day. Like some crazy shit. And this is profit too, by the way. This is profit too. Just because they're in so many damn hands. You know, they got bonds here and corporations paying them this and that. Let me go back to some tickers. I saw somebody, Halliburton. And Halliburton is a stock that reverse split too. It's so crazy because Halliburton is a stock that like, it's, you know, it just reminds me of like George Bush, Dick Cheney days. Is Dick Cheney even still alive? I think Dick Cheney's dead. And I think he died recently too. It wasn't too long ago. But yeah, Dick Cheney days, like it was just crazy. Halliburton and everything like that. You know, the Iraq War because they had so many inside contracts on the Iraq War. Halliburton. Yeah, until May of 2008, and then Obama gets elected, and that thing drops like a rock because they were basically getting Halliburton was getting no bid contracts. So you can see when George Bush gets reelected in 2004 for John Kerry, that thing just went to Pluto. Halliburton was getting no bid contracts from the federal government, and Dick Cheney was either a former vice president or a former CEO of Halliburton. He had huge ties to that, and of course, he got away with it, and nobody ever was criminally penalized and arrested for anything in regards to that. What should I be aiming for a good leap? 6 months, a year, more Nvidia? I wouldn't do Nvidia for a leap. I wouldn't do Nvidia for a leap. 6 months, a year. Somebody give him some pointers while I look at what would you think for 6 months for a year for a leap option? 6 months to a year. Well, I could tell you gold is definitely going to be higher a year from now, and I really think it's going to be much higher a year from now. But I still would go tech heavy on that. I still would go tech heavy on that. I'm even thinking myself, what would I do if I wanted to put some money out a year out? If I wanted to put something a year out, where would I put it? It's actually a really, really good question. It's a really, really good question.
Dom DeMarco.
Let's take a look at JP Morgan. I'm still thinking about that answer, by the way. I'm still thinking about that. JP Morgan, yep, looking really good. Yeah, JP Morgan, this is one of those days we needed this day. I've been watching JP Morgan, but I'd love to see it, get back above some of these levels to see that it's actually wanting to be competitive this year in 2026. Because that sell off after the beginning of the year was like, what the fuck is going on? Okay, we had some interesting rejections, and I've been trying to follow the stock, and it's just been really, really pissing me off. You said whatever Nancy Pelosi is doing. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. Yeah, I'll give you that one because she's definitely a prolific trader, ain't she? I mean, yeah, you can follow Nancy Pelosi on. There's a Nancy Pelosi like stock tracker on X. Okay, there's a Nancy Pelosi stock tracker on X. And everybody wants to chase something that hasn't really moved yet that well. And hold on, I got a stock that's in my head, but I'm not able to. Uh, hold on. 1 second, because I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, none of that shit. Should have been forgot about them, but god damn, them is took it fuck off. Fuck. Because you're gonna get a nice pullback in gold here soon. But um, if interest rates go to if not interest rates, if inflation rises, mm, hold on. Yeah, they're not even doing that hot. They're really not doing that hot. They're really not doing that hot at all. UEC, Uranium Energy Corporation, that definitely looks good. You know, again, doing a year out leap option, the idea is that, I mean, you're not necessarily, I mean, how do you do your leaps? Because do you give yourself something where that's just like deep in the money, or do you like at the current price expecting higher prices? Or do you do like out the money leaps? Okay. Do you do out the money leaps? Okay. And by the way, for people who are watching this and don't know what happened, but this is a really good question that I'd love to answer. Leap options are basically called long-term equity anticipation securities. All right, it's the idea that you plan on holding it for a very long time, and you're allowing profit and just the sentiment to just kind of do its thing. Right. Leap options are how wealthy people trade. Right, people who have significant capital, they want to put to work, but are not interested in the short-term ups and downs of the market that are significantly more risky. And these are people who are looking, and would love to get outsized returns over a large period of time. Okay. And when you talk about leap options, it's not out of the question for somebody to get, you know, 200 plus percent return on their money when we talk about leap options. You said Spitzer bought down AIG. Yeah, I pulled up AIG, but I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything. And then these were actually insurance. I think low dollar would actually hurt. A declining dollar would actually hurt. You know, but I love Cat, but Cat is really up there, man. Cat is really up there. Caterpillar is really up there. Yeah, AEM is amazing. I love AEM. Yeah, AEM is amazing too. But if I had to pick AEM or Newmont, I'm going to pick Newmont. If I'm going to pick AEM or Newmont, I'll pick Newmont. Okay, I'll pick Newmont. Oh, okay. All right. So you do out of the money leaps. Okay. So he's doing out of the money leaps, expecting the price to appreciate. Okay. If you're doing out of the money leap options, expecting appreciation, uh, Even China doesn't look that great right now. Yeah, I'm definitely not seeing that looking good. Can't remember what the name of that shit is. Mm, not everyone really smokes this. The Who. Depends on the Delta, you suppose. Young Habibi. Appreciate you for being here. Hold on, man. Definitely don't want to touch anything in software. All right. When you got people making apps in 20 minutes, I don't want to touch nothing in software. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. I think I found your stock, bro. I think I found your stock, bro. I think I found your stock, bro. I think I found your stock. One second, I'm just looking at the financials real quick. Hey, it's trading a little. The P is a little high, but I love the chart. Looking for a breakout above 100. 75% year to date. Institutional ownership just under 10%. No, institutional ownership is 74%. Insiders own just under 10%. Yeah. Electronic components. Now, they just call Corning Inc., but they used to be called Dow Corning. All right. It used to be called Dow Corning, but this is a very like old company, bro. This company right here, they used to be called Dow Corning. This company's like 170 years old. This is a company that like was around during the 1929 collapse, the depression basically. All right? I mean, they're in everything. They're like PPG. I mean, they're like PPG, which is another good stock. Okay. It looks like they've actually kind of gone down a little bit. So PPG is interesting. It's interesting to see PPG struggling because PPG is another one that's kind of like in everything. They're in paint, they're in glass, they're in a whole bunch of other shit where their technology is in mobile electronics, but outside of PPG, because PPG is mostly like industrial stuff. With Corning, you get access to the telecommunications, mobile electronics, right? You also get some access to health class, for example, Gorilla Glass. You know, Gorilla Glass that comes on phones and all that stuff. Gorilla Glass, that's this company right here. Okay, among a whole bunch of other things, fiber optic cables, and If I'm you, I really want to play into like the data center movement, okay? Because data center is like it's not coming down, bro. We need more data centers. The demand for data centers is going to continue to expand, and I want to be in stocks that are going to be heavy on the data center play. That's the stocks order. I've showed that last week on the show. I want to be in those stocks that are heavy on the data centers. Okay. Okay, hold on. You know, I want to be in data center construction or the whole idea about like robots and stuff. I want to be heavy into that. Okay. Let me show you the stocks I'm talking about here. Okay. Because I got a picture of them, but I don't have each individual stock highlighted for you guys. Okay. So let's take a look here. Can I? All right. Save. Save that as an image. And then I want to post an image. Media file, videos, a sound clip. How do I post an image? Display window, video capture. Come on. Video sound clips, no. MP3, done. God damn. Image, okay. Hold on, guys. Add source, image, okay. I want to find it here. This one. All right, so this is the image I want to show you guys. Okay. I'm going to put it up here. Take a screenshot. Take a screenshot because you're not going to be able to. So take a screenshot of this shit right now. Okay. Take a screenshot of this shit right now because I can't list out every company, but you'll be able to look it up. All right. Let me see if can I fit everything in there. Yeah, I can fit it out like this. All right. Take a screenshot of that right now. Right now. Right now. Take a screenshot. Okay. Those are the categories for what we are seeing going to be happening about, you know, AI, robotics, and data center. Okay, robotics and data center. Okay, some of them you can tell clearly robotics when we talk about sensors, actuators, right? But these are the companies that are going to be like really involved in this. These are the companies that are going to be really, really involved. Some are big, some are small, but the leap that's going to happen over the next 12 months is going to be gigantic because in 12 months we're going to have, I mean, you have some companies right now that already have these machines in their facilities, but 12 months from now it's going to be a lot more. A lot more. Okay? A lot more. So you're going to have some big winners among these stocks here. Okay? And it's not having to do with the big 7, you know, the Dream 7 or whatever they were. You're going to have some new companies this time next year. You're going to be like, God damn, look at Texas Instruments. God damn, look at On Semi. You know, look at Foxconn. Look at Honeywell. You know what I'm saying? We know the demand for these chips when we talk about memory is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. Okay. When we talk about memory, all right. When we talk about MU, or when we talk about let me see, what's scan disk? I think it's like SD something. Scan disk, SanDisk, SNDK. Okay, very expensive stock, but again, another one that's like, is going to be a much more expensive stock a year from now, because you're going to have more. You're going to have more. We're not. It's not. You're not going to build five next year, right? 5 data centers next year, and be like, oh well, that's all the data centers we need. Nope. You're gonna keep having to build it, and then we need the energy to supply these data centers. So we're not even there, because energy is a problem. So now you're talking about some of these energy stocks. All right. There's a huge power shortage. There's a huge commodity shortage. There's a lot of resources, rare earth. Okay, rare earth stocks. There are a bunch of rare earth stocks. We still have there's so much, guys, that we do not have in order to make this transition to the next, you know, to the next level of human innovation, man. There's so much demand that we just don't have yet. You said we need to catch these stocks like early, like, and that's why we're here. That's why we're here. And look, don't look at where the chart is now and say, "Oh, we're too late. We missed it," because you would have said the same thing. You would have said the same thing in 1998 with $400 gold. Oh shit, I missed it. I would love to have $400 gold today. I would love to have $500 gold today. 600, 700, 750, 1,000. So let's not, look at where the stock is and say, "Oh, I'm late." No, these are prices, right? These are prices. We've been here long enough to know these are prices that a year, 2 year, 3 years from now, you're gonna want to buy them now. So it's not, oh my God, I missed the boat. Nah, nah, we're not thinking like that no more. We're not thinking like that no more, because I was there. We just talked about that. I was there when I saw AMD, right? AMD at $49 a share, and fuck, it's late. You know, oh, it's too high. Fuck timing these shit, man. Get in. Fuck time. You're never gonna time the shit right, ever. Do they have a great product? Do they have a moat? Do they have, you know, do they have, a product that makes sense? Do people want it? Is it in demand? Does it solve an issue? Okay, buy and hold. Buy and hold. Get yourself a leap option. Get yourself a 6 month or 3 month. Go sell, go sell some puts. Okay. Go do a bull call spread for, 45 days, selling some out of the money options in it. Okay. Selling some out of the money options in it, and then just, hold and go. Hey, baby, I'm going to call you back. All right.
Okay, bye.
All right. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. You know, 'cause you're not going to time this stuff perfectly, man. I'm done with the whole, timing this shit perfectly. Obviously, when we're talking about, these short term plays, absolutely. But if you want to talk to me about a leap option, I'm not waiting for a 2% pullback for a leap option. I'm not waiting for a 2% pullback, a 3% pullback for something that I gotta wait 365 days in. Bro, get you the $600 call and fucking wait. You know what I'm saying? Fucking wait. You know, pullback, a 3% pullback for something that I gotta wait
Hold on, hold on.
365 days in, because there's not another, TSMC out there. Okay, where's TSMC, the U.S. version of TSMC? Do we have a TSMC? I don't think so. I don't think we have a U.S. version of that stock. All right. Is it Micron or SanDisk or SNDK? One of those two I would choose. Okay. I would choose probably SNDK, but pick one of these motherfuckers and go. And go. Say AMD was $4. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. $4 in 2023. In 2013, excuse me. GLD, Dave said, was stuck at 1,000 for a while. Yeah. You know. Hey, bro, I'm not timing this shit no more. I've read so many books on timing. Remember, I owned a whole PDF ebook library website where people could buy PDF books on stocks and stuff, and some of that stuff was very rare and very hard to find. I have over like 4,000 ebooks on trading that I've just over the years I see somewhere, I download it, see somewhere down, books that like you can't even find now on the internet, you know. And so many books on timing the market, how to time your trades. Time, man, that shit will make you broke, bro. That shit will make you broke. Sitting back waiting for 1 or 2%, particularly if you've got a long-term focus. You know, a long-term focus and waiting for 3%. Come on, man. IREM, I don't know what IREN. IREN. Okay, this is a stock I've clearly looked at in the past. And I clearly had some interest at this level, and it's clearly holding that resistance eventually becomes support, and it's very much doing that. Data processing services. It looks good. It actually looks pretty good here. So you've got it's relatively close to a very low risk entry point. I usually use Keltner channels to find a low risk entry point when I want to do that. And oh yeah, I would actually do it here. I would do that here, actually. You know what I'm saying? Just underneath that, obviously if it cracks back below it, then we know we're done. But relatively low risk entry point. Again, I don't know what they do or anything like that, but it's interesting, and I definitely will keep my eye on this. I definitely keep my eye on this. That looks very exciting. Love stocks like this. Love stocks like this. So, ladies and gentlemen, the goal for tomorrow is we get back up above this ascending triangle. All right? That's the goal for tomorrow. We get back above this ascending triangle and we start looking at 628, 629 breakout on QQQ. Even if we have a small pullback tomorrow, I wouldn't become a seller. I really would not become a seller until we start getting back. If we break 618, if we break below 618, then now I think that changes. We got to change a bit the conversation on the Qs. But and that's I'm saying if we break 618 like by the end of this week. But if which I don't think is going to happen. 6 to today, because today was very indicative of where I think the market wants to go. 628 is definitely something that I'd love to see us get above here in the next couple of days. We start talking about a new high going into next week. All right. Bad weather, don't matter. There's money to be made. There was money made today. Bad weather. You had schools all across the country closed. But look how many people made money today. You know what I'm saying? You got gold sold off just before I came on the show. And look how many people stepped in to buy that dip. You know what I mean? Look how many people came and stepped. Bro, we went from 51.10 to 49.80, and we're back above 5,000 in a matter of 3 hours. The world stepped in and said, "Oh, 4,900 gold? I like that. I like that." And it could be a bull trap. I mean, it could be a trap for the bulls, you know. But you're not going to sit here and tell me we're getting back to $3,000 gold. You're not going to sit here and tell me you're going to see $3,500 gold anymore. You know what I'm saying? You can forget about that. You know, I had somebody tell me they want to, oh, the 355. I'd love the 355 GLD. You ain't getting 355 GLD ever again. Not with the way they printing money and the word is out. The word is out. You know, we got what, 3, 4, what are that? Maybe 6 more days. We have a government shutdown again. A government shutdown again. What you talking about? Why would you? You know, you got people talking about I want to short gold. We're going into a government shutdown again, and you want to short gold? Are you crazy? You know, a government shutdown again, and you want to short gold? You out of your damn mind, man. You out of your damn mind. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. It's been a great, great, great show. We talked about all the stocks you are interested in. Any stocks you brought on the chat, we did talk about. Thank you so much. I'm not going to hold you guys.
Dom DeMarco.
I will put out, again, my thoughts on QQQ tomorrow. I'd actually like to go live with you guys during the day. And again, if we have a really another good day, because I'm working on my app. My mobile app is coming out really good. But bro, man, I didn't really realize how much these companies pay for data. God damn, this is expensive, bro. Paying for stock market data is not cheap, man. This shit is building a mobile app is way more complicated than you think it is. It's not just going in there typing like, I'm putting in all these APIs and I gotta read all this documentation and it's being a app developer. It's not easy, but at the same time, I thank God for where we are right now in history because this is something that 5 years ago, man, somebody offered me to do this app for 8,500, and that was just to get to because the developers were breaking it in phases. They're like phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up to get to phase 1, I'd have to pay 8,500, and then they'd come back and tell me where and how much it would cost to keep going. That's what the fuck these developers were doing. So they would just create the UI and be like, okay, that's 8,500. We need more. You know what I'm saying? Like software development was such a fucking ripoff for a long, long fucking time. That's why I don't feel sorry for any of these fucking, software developers. I don't feel sorry for any of these fucking people, man. Don't. These people were ripping off the markets for a long time. Sitting in their comfy chairs making 300 grand to do shit, working 2 hours a day, some of them. Fuck them. You know? I don't feel sorry for none of these people. You know? I don't feel sorry for none of these people, man. Get money. Timing is everything when it comes to buying something that has an expiration date, such as options. Well, it depends. It really depends. Clay Furious, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, but I think when we're talking about, a great company and you're buying out of the money options, okay? You're buying out of the money options. I'm not waiting for a 2% pullback for a stock that I'd love to, that you project to go up another $100. Right? That you project, right? That you are taking a risk on because it's out of money option. So it's already right? A significant risk as it is, right? Now, if we're talking about in the money leap options, then I could see what you're saying, Clay Furious. Because then that means that I can maybe get more, right? More bang for my buck if I get a 2% pullback or a 3% pullback. Does the rule still apply also for out of yeah, but if we're talking, you're $100 out of the money, $300 out of the money, like what some people were doing with MSTR. Some people were buying those $800, $900 call options, which are basically zero now. Um, what good was 2% now? Go ask those people what good was it? What good was a 2% pullback when you're buying out of the money option and the stock goes left? You know. So I agree with you, Clay Furious, if you're talking about in the money options. In the money options. I agree with you on that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for everyone
Monster kill.
who participated today. Please continue to trade. Please continue to keep your money at work. Look for opportunities to make money weekly in the markets. If not, definitely put on some long-term trades like we talked about today and have your money continue to work every single day in the markets. Okay? These pullbacks are going to happen. They always will happen, but they're not opportunities to stand on the sidelines. Keep putting money at work. All right? Keep putting money at work. Everything that we've looked at since I've started in the past, started the show, is higher now than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Okay? We know putting money to work long term, generates alpha. Generates alpha, and you want to continue to be long. Thank you so much for watching my show. I appreciate you. Everybody. Press like on this video right now. If you haven't already, press like on this video. I should have said it earlier when I had way more people in here watching. But until next time, tomorrow is another trade.